Bucknutters, welcome to the Morning 5 on Wednesday, December 17th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Duane Long. Duane, Ohio State received its 24th commitment in its 2015 class yesterday when defensive tackle Robert Landers from Huber Heights, Wayne, flipped from West Virginia. The 6'2", 295-pound Landers had a tremendous senior season, really came on in the playoffs when he was dominant. Following Landers' commitment, the Buckeyes are now ranked 4th in the 24/7 Sports Composite team recruiting rankings for 2015. They trail only Alabama, Florida State, and Georgia. Tennessee rounds out the top 5. In the Big Ten, Penn State has the next best recruiting class at 8th. Beyond that, Duane, you have to go all the way to 25th to find Wisconsin. As for Michigan, the Wolverines check in at 86th. They have just 6 commitments. They're dead last in the Big Ten. Anyway, Duane, your thoughts on Robert Landers. He looks like a 3-tech defensive tackle, and I love these guys who prove that they deserve an offer by having an outstanding senior season. Talk about his game a little bit, Duane.
The kid is just, you know, if he was a bigger kid, if he was, I don't believe that's 6'2" for a minute. He's 6 foot, maybe 6'1", but I think he's going to project eventually to a nose guard. I think he's got that kind of build. Nose guards aren't big guys. They're not tall guys. I mean, look at the Pro Bowl rosters over the last 20 years. You see these 6'1", 320-pound guys that are the best in the business. You want them to get in there and soak up blocks and be double teamed and just tie up people to let the quicker guys get in one-on-one situations. This kid, you know, everyone's looking for the 6'4", 6'5", 3 techniques like Adolphus Washington. There just aren't that many of them. And you look at this kid's film, it's 15 minutes, Dave. 15 minutes. A 10-minute tape is a guy that's a high school All-American. When you can put together a 15-minute highlight tape, you have dominated the competition on an entirely different level. He comes off the ball like a shot, stays low. That's something that, you know, you can try to teach it, but it seems like one of those things that guys just are going to do or they're not.
And he's doing it against good competition.
High-level competition.
Exactly. Division I high school in Ohio takes his team to the state championship game. You know he's facing the best of the best. I love this. I did a story for the site yesterday called The Quarterback Quandary of 2015, breaking down all the scenarios that the Buckeyes could be facing at the QB position next year. I think J.T. Barrett has earned the starting job next season, but that could obviously change if Cardale Jones leads the Buckeyes to the national championship this season. As for Braxton Miller, my prediction is that he will turn pro. I think he might be a 7th-round pick or an undrafted free agent. You know, I don't think he's going to be a top pick by any means, but I do expect him to turn pro. Duane, what is your prediction on the quarterback situation next year? Who will be the starter, and what will happen with Braxton Miller?
I think it all depends on what Cordell Stewart, man, the Steelers coming out in me, dude. I think Cardale Jones, what he did was shocking. Let's be honest. We thought, okay, he's going to manage the game. He's going to throw the ball a few times when we need to. We're going to try to run at this team, and that's what we're going to depend on. We didn't. He threw the ball all over the joint, and he was accurate. He's a big kid with a big arm. What happens, Dave, if this kid runs us to a national championship? If he wins another game and looks good against Alabama, we got one of those quandaries that you're like, what do you do? I think it's absolutely let's not count our chickens. Let's see what's going to happen here before we start going into who's going to be the starter. We've got spring coming up. The one thing that I'm certain of is it's not going to be Braxton Miller. I still have no faith that his shoulder is going to be fine to make him a quarterback. I think that there may be some consideration. They're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to go ahead and go pro? Maybe not even as a quarterback, because the kid is the most, even better than Terrell Pryor running the football. So he's going to be the third-string quarterback. If you're completely honest with you, your thread that you started on the matter, I jumped in one that had started a little bit earlier, and I said this: he is the third best passer on the roster, even with his shoulder in good shape. So it doesn't look good for him. And what's he going to do? Come back and sit for one more year as a third-string quarterback, maybe get in on some wildcats, some different kind of formations? I can't imagine that he would be satisfied doing that. So going to the NFL seems like a real good idea for him.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Duane, are you concerned that Torrence Gibson is looking around?
Not really. I'm not really that concerned about it. He's the fact that if he was going to look around, I don't think it would be to go to Central Florida. I think we need to stay in contact with him because I imagine Coach Herman was a draw to him, but I still think it comes back to that he wants to play for Urban Meyer.
Yep.
Now, he's got to look at the quarterback situation and say, wow. But at the same time, Dave, it was pretty much that way anyway. J.T. Barrett's going through an incredible year when he commits in the first place. So, maybe it appealed to him that, this guy can put together this, and now he's moving on. But I just got a feeling that he might take a look around, but we're going to hang on to him.
Buckeyes are holding steady as 9.5-point underdogs against Alabama. Duane, what is your biggest concern for the Buckeyes in terms of them facing Alabama?
I think you got to shut down Amari Cooper. And, we're better than we were last year. But Sammy Watkins was looking like the top receiver in the draft going in last year, and we certainly put him in a position to solidify that. As I said, we're a better football team defensively than we were last year. We've got better coverage people. I like our safety play better. I think we can do a better job against him, but I'm not overly concerned about Alabama. The quarterback is just not outstanding. I've seen him be bad more than I've seen him be good. So but Cooper makes it easier for him, getting the ball into that kid's hands. And the other receiver on the other side is pretty good too. So that's the biggest thing. And I think 9.5 points it makes me want to laugh. I say that's gambling. So many times it's the spread. The initial spread actually tells you more about where how the two teams match up, but it's pretty close to where it started. I don't get it. I don't know where they think that 9.5 points that Alabama is that much better than Ohio State. I saw 3 teams this year that were better than anybody else. That was Ohio State, Alabama, and Oregon. Other than that, and there was no clear team that I thought was that much better than anybody else. So I think it'll surely be one of those 3 teams. I think Oregon's just going to smack Florida State around, and the winner of Ohio State, Alabama, is going to play Oregon for the national championship. If Cardell Jones is as good as he was in the Big Ten championship game, we're going to cause Alabama some problems. I don't know if they really want to get into a run and gun with us. I really don't. And if we can start scoring points, I really like our chances. But I think we can win this football game. And it's not, I'm a guy that thinks with his head before his heart. I think we can win this football game.
I definitely think Ohio State can win the football game. I've been saying, I think they have a puncher's chance, maybe better than that. If I had to pick, I think Alabama's going to win the game, but I think it's going to be a close one. My biggest concern, and I know Ohio State's offensive line has come light years from the Virginia Tech game. I'm still concerned about the offensive line in this matchup, and I realize this Alabama defensive line is not the dominant defensive line that they had maybe a few years ago, but it's still very good. I've been watching Alabama. Their issues defensively have not been up front. It's been their getting beat on the deep ball, which hopefully Cardale Jones with his howitzer for an arm can continue doing that and beat them with the deep ball. But I'm concerned about the offensive line a little bit, Duane. Ohio State's offensive line going up against Alabama's defense. Nick Saban's going to have some new wrinkles that he's going to throw at Ohio State, and it's still a young offensive line. Again, they have come a long way, and I love Taylor Decker. I think he's a future first-round pick. I think he's going to come back next year as a senior, don't get me wrong. The other guys have really progressed. Darryl Baldwin is such a good story. You could just do, that's a story in itself. The Darryl Baldwin story is such a great story. But am I wrong to think that that's a concern going into this game? That that just keeps standing out to me. I mean, there's all kinds of concerns. Amari Cooper's a concern, like you said. Of course he is. He looks like Sammy Watkins Part 2, and that's not good because we saw what Sammy Watkins did last year. But I'm concerned about the offensive line going up against Bama's D-line, Duane.
Well, I can see why he would be over, the course of the season, but I thought they got better and better as the season wore on. I think we're going to have some tricks for them, too. I just don't see us. I think we could see Herman at his best in this game. I think that he's going to go out with a blaze of glory and with an Alabama pelt on his belt. That would be outstanding. I think they're going to look for ways to block this front to keep Alabama from having the impact. Because if that happens, it's over. If Alabama's defensive line dominates the game, well, it's not just Alabama's defensive line. Anytime a defensive line dominates the line of scrimmage, that team's chances of winning go up dramatically. I don't know if we're going to see that happen. I am not seeing the usual overwhelming Alabama front where it's just, what do you do about these guys? I got a feeling we're going to come out with a scheme to handle them. We're going to run the ball. The balance that Ohio State puts on the field, nobody in the NCAA can touch. Ohio State will beat you through the air. Ohio State will beat you running the ball at you. It's hard to beat a team that is that explosive with that kind of balance. I really, you said you think we can win. I think we got I say the game's an even shot. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a great game unless Alabama's defensive line comes in and just smacks us around up front.
You got me fired up. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow. I wish the game was tomorrow or today.
Oh, man.
15 days.
Have you ever wanted Christmas to be over with so bad in your life? Let's just get to it. I want this game so bad. I want this game so bad I can taste it. I want some Alabama. I want to chew on them. I want to watch Nick Saban storm up and down the sidelines because he's getting his butt kicked. I really want this game. I'm so excited. I think this team could win.
This is why everybody loves Duane Long. Great stuff, my friend. Thank you to all the listeners out there as well. Take it away, best damn band in the land.